End of 3 in the World Series. Cleveland leading the Cubs 2-0. Middle of the order coming up against Corey Kluber, who they have not been able to solve so far. 2 nights from now, actually 47 hours from now, we'll be kicking off the Thursday night football game. Prime time for the Titans and Jaguars at Nissan Stadium. This is a big opportunity. As much as we talked a lot about the Colts game, and it was disappointing. A 10 straight loss to Indianapolis hurts. Falling to 3-4 hurts. But as much as it hurts, this is still a huge opportunity on Thursday night for the Titans. A win, you're 500 at the midseason point. You are tied with the Texans in the win column atop the AFC South. That means you're going to play a bunch of meaningful football games in November and December, which hasn't happened for a while. And if you looked at the crowd, especially Sunday, the Browns game wasn't that bad, but especially Sunday, that was the best home crowd I've seen for a Titans game in a long, long time. It was a good atmosphere there. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the win. But they're starting to show signs of life, and guess what? So are the fans. And we've said that for a long time. If the Titans win, if they give you a reason to come, the fans will come. They'll follow. And back-to-back wins, getting to 500, gave them a reason to show up. Now, what I hope is the loss Sunday doesn't make everybody jump off the bandwagon. It's a dismal crowd on Thursday. This is a prime-time game. It's a divisional foe, and it's what I said, opportunity to get to 500 at the midway point, opportunity to tie the first-place Texans in the win column. Are the Titans as good as everybody wants them to be right now? Or are they a Super Bowl contender right now? No. But is that a heck of a first step? It's something. It is something on the table for Thursday night. So hopefully, we'll see a decent environment on Thursday night against the Jaguars. The downside to the short week of all this is the fact that you've got to condense a game plan into 72 hours, basically. Titans players left Nissan Stadium Sunday afternoon, had a chance to go home, hang out with their families, have dinner. But a lot of them went back to the facility then on Sunday night to start the training, start the therapy, the training room stuff that they had to do to get ready to play a football game again. Coaches were in their offices for the most part. Some went home, broke down game film from there. But they were working on Sunday night. Monday morning, bright and early, they got back to work, started immediately going after what they were going to do with the Jaguars. They had a walkthrough last night, couldn't do any hitting just a day after the game, but a walkthrough on the field. And then today, they basically conducted Wednesday and Thursday practices today. It was in one, so it was condensed. But essentially, they did 2 days worth of work, a lot of film study, a lot of meetings. They're keeping them late tonight. And then tomorrow, you have essentially a Friday practice day. Keep them pretty late again, then try to get them a good night's sleep. And Thursday, you're ready to go. It's game day on Thursday. Lots to get accomplished in a short period of time this week. A lot on the plate for your coaching staff, too. And the battle is, how much can you throw in? Because the other thing you don't want to do is overwhelm these guys and make them think too much. To some degree, you just have to get them out there on the field and hope that everything you've worked on all year and all training camp and through the first 7 weeks of the season, you add in a wrinkle or two here this week, but they can go out there and perform and execute and essentially mano a mano with the guy across from them, perform at a level good enough to win. That's the challenge for the Titans this week. Mike Mularkey, the guy charged with coming up with the game plan, charged with condensing it and making sure this team is ready to go on Thursday night. He talked about all those challenges to us, the media, in his media session.
All right, to start with just the injury report, I'll just go down this list. Delaney's got basically a bruised chest off the hit yesterday. Tyjae Sharp's got a little bit of a knee sprain. He finished the game last night, but he was came in this morning and got treatment. Quentin Spain, not as serious as we had thought it might be, more of a bruise. Still a pretty significant knee injury. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. Parrish Cox is in the concussion protocol and will go again as daily as that plays out. Rashad Johnson, he's got basically a neck strain, so he's got a little bit of a neck, stiff neck coming in here this morning. And then I'll just talk about Kevin Dodd here for a second. He's got foot pain. There's really no re-injury of the foot. More pain tolerance than anything. So, but we thought we ought to list him when he came in and complaining about his foot prior to the game. So.
I assume that's the same foot that.
Same foot. We did an X-ray. We looked at it again. Looks very good. The X-ray looks actually better than what the doctor said. Better than most. It's more really a matter of pain tolerance than anything. So.
Doctors and trainers tell you that pain sort of resurfacing is common, or?
No, I think it's something we kind of expected throughout, the year. I thought, it's just something that's going to. A lot of guys are hurting right now. It's just a matter of how painful that is on him.
It doesn't look like you have to undergo any other.
No. We're going to watch him again. And again, we got to just be smart with him. This is a short week. We'll see how he. Obviously, we're not going to do anything today. We're going to walk through tonight, and maybe we'll look at it. We'll just see if this is good to give him a rester.
For Sharp, did you say knee sprain or just?
Just knee. Actually, it was knee sprain.
And with Spain, you just kind of keep him off of it, put him in a brace, and just let time do its work?
Yes, yeah. From what I understand, no surgery is required. It's more of stay off of it. And it was a hyperextension, and got a good bruise on the bone. It was like I said, it's pretty significant, but not season ending.
Swanky, the guy?
We're going to talk about that. We are. And he played, he played pretty well last night. For the most part, he stepped in there and did a lot of good things for us. But we have some options at that position, and we'll talk about that at our staff meeting this afternoon.
Is Dennis, I would assume he'd be the other leading candidate, Dennis Kelly, for.
There's a number. We have Sebastian Tritola. We got Kareem's on the practice squad. We've got Schwenke, who's played the most out of any of them. At least game time play. So there's a lot of options we have at that right now. We're going to talk through it very in depth when we get together this afternoon.
I told Schwenke there. I just think he did.
I thought he did it right. I did. We had pressure on the sack fumble. I thought Ben could have hung a little longer based on the protection, based on Schwenke being in there for us. We could have helped him more to stop that penetration that came in there. But overall, for as much as he had to play, for the amount of time he played, I thought he did well.
Is Spain's knee, is it the same knee he hurt in college, or is it different?
That's a good question. I do not know that. I'll have that answer for you next time we get together.
Running backs have been so helpful in the passing game. Yesterday, DeMarco had 2 that didn't have, and Henry had another one. How much yardage did he leave on the field with those 3 plays?
Well, I know the one to Derek, everybody had their backs turned to him based on the coverage. I'm not sure what that would have done. Obviously, that would have put us closer to in the red zone, if not in the end zone. Those are big plays. Those guys are dangerous with the balls in their hand, and we're trying to get it to them. One thing, I stress this to the team, that's a very good tackling team, very good. In open space, they tackle well. And so you got to get what you can. But you watched them. We had a tough time making guys miss, because we had a lot, even in the run game, there's always going to be one extra defender, always, unless the quarterback's running. But when it's the back running, there's always going to be an extra, and that's the backs guy. And if you notice, we got him out to that guy, and they tackled them very well.
Yesterday, you said you wanted to see the film before you made an evaluation of why some of Marcus's throws were sailing on him. You got your
I do. Some of those were on Marcus, and I talked to Marcus this morning about that. Again, some of them were on our routes by our wide receivers, not being where they're supposed to be, and a combination of the two. It's just we did a lot of good things with our receivers. We made some big plays when they were where they were supposed to be. We made some big plays, especially on the third down and longs. Those guys made great plays. Richard made a great play on the 3rd and 19. But some of those throws you see also are right where they're supposed to be, and I told that to Marcus this morning. Keep throwing those throws exactly where they are, so these guys understand they got to be where they're going to be at the end of it, and the ball's going to be there, and they got to trust. That's part of the trust factor. But it was it was a combination of both, no question. But again, on the other side of things, Marcus made some really good throws.
But is there some mechanical issue with him throwing to the right, the intermediate? It seemed to sail a bunch of balls. But
No,
similar.
I was throwing more off his back foot, a little bit to the right than he was.
But a minute ago, whatever it was, there was the sequence where you sent the field goal team out to get the 3 points early. Then they ruled there was no penalty. You sent the offense back out there. Sort of walk us through the
Well,
considerations of that.
we knew we needed 2 scores. We had to get the ball back, obviously, on an onside kick. We for sure could get the score, one of the scores, a field goal there. But once we had time to make a decision, we said, let's take a couple shots still at the end zone. Again, there's a lot of communication going on, decision-making going on. And I thought at the time, let's get the 3, leave us enough time. Still had a timeout on the clock, which would have been good for a touchdown. But since we had time to talk about it, we all talked and said, hey, let's take some shots, and we had a shot. If we could have got it up a little earlier on that last one, we had a chance with Richard. So we decided let's go for the score here and then come back for the field goal still with a timeout.
They left a lot of their receiver depth at home hurt. Hilton was hurt. We talked about them max protecting. They're keeping people into max protect. How is he against what he said were double teams running so free so often?
Well, to me, I thought that was probably the best game I saw him play. On tape, obviously, had to see it in person. But when you max protect like that, you got longer to cover. And those guys, I don't care. He makes everybody look good. I mean, he makes everybody. He puts the ball where they have a chance to catch it. I mean, all the time. And he did nothing different yesterday. He was on target. He threw it where we couldn't get to it. And if he had the time, and I'll say this too, after watching the tape, there was more pressure on him than you think. I mean, there was tight pockets. He made some really, really unbelievable throws out of the pockets, but there was more pressure. The sacks weren't there, but the pressure was.
How many times do you think that Marcus is maybe too cautious, that perhaps he's worried about making mistakes, turnovers at times?
I think that might be some of the case. Yes, I do. And I've talked to him about it. I think, he doesn't want to let anybody down, so he doesn't want to make mistakes for his teammates, for this team, for this organization. And I wouldn't say overly, but I do say sometimes he is. He is, yeah. He's just, if it's gray to him, he's right now, he doesn't want to take the risk.
Is that a good strategy to have, or are you encouraging him to?
I want him to be more aggressive. I want him to be aggressive, but smart. Again, some of the things where we've had some turnovers, but yeah, we want him. We have confidence in what he does. We definitely have the confidence in him.
One of those times when it was on the 3rd and 1, I guess to Andre, it was an out. He seemed like he pump faked and then threw it. Was that one where he maybe was second guessing himself there? Thought a defender was going to try to jump the route, or that play I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do remember. That should have really been, we had the off coverage, that should have been a pitch and catch, to be honest with you. I think a little bit of a misread on the depth of the route, and that's why you saw him pull it back on the thing.
Have you solved the shotgun snap problem? It seems like oftentimes on plays that don't time up, that he's having to bend over or look for it in the way that he should.
They're better. They need to be 100% all the time the same. Just like a long snap or a short snap on a extra point. Got to be the same every time. Perfect.
All right, Mike Mularkey talking to the media. Titans getting set on the short week for the game Thursday night against the Jaguars. Don't forget, you can watch Thursday night, 7 o'clock broadcast start right here on News Channel 5. Kickoff at 7:25. We will have you covered before the game, obviously. This stuff right after the game ends with the news as well on Thursday night. Going to take a break. When we come back, we'll switch gears, talk a little Predators hockey, getting set for a huge road trip. We'll detail that and hear from head coach Peter Laviolette when SportsLine continues after this on News Channel 5+.